I've also got I got some plastic party cups. That's to mix up the resin in. This is neutral shoe polish. I tried to get the Kiwi stuff, but this is Asda stuff. It will do just as well. I have been told that Kiwi's neutral shoe polish is the #1 release agent that you can use when you're bedding your rifle. I know I've read that people use things like spray grease. Precision LR Hunter used spray grease when he was bedding his rifle. You can use baking release and stuff like that. But from what I've read and what I've been told, neutral shoe polish is the #1 release agent. I've got masking tape for covering any parts of the stock and action that I don't want epoxy on, and also use that to cover my screws. Now, I'm going against conventional wisdom here, and the way I'm going to do this is, instead of using the action screws to screw down the stock or use C-clamps to squeeze the stock into position, I've picked up some 1/4" UNF bolts, and that's the thread that the action screws. That's the thread that the action screws are, and I have got extra long ones. I've got these extra long ones because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hacksaw off the end of the bolt, screw that into the rifle, and then put a washer and a bolt on the underside so that there's absolutely no risk of, when I screw the action on, of getting any epoxy resin in the threads and gluing my rifle stock to my action. This is going to go one of two ways. It is either going to go exceedingly well and I'm going to have an extremely accurate and beautifully bedded rifle. Touch wood, that is what's going to happen. Or it could go drastically wrong, and I'm going to glue my action into my stock and be very angry about it. So, and like I said, this is my first time doing this, although I have done lots of research and spoken to my gunsmith and read lots about it, so I'm confident that I'm going to be able to do it. But this is hopefully not going to be a bonding experience. Excuse the pun. So, in order to bed my rifle action, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remove a lot of this plastic here in order to create an adequate amount of room for the epoxy resin to go in and make the bedding strong and secure. I could put the bedding material in there, but then it wouldn't be that strong because we need to lower this plastic here. But obviously when we do that, the action is going to want to drop further into the stock than what it already is. So what we're going to do is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave a part of the plastic here intact, and then I'm going to build up this end with tape so that the barrel and action is supported here and here when I screw the action into the stock, so it won't sink, because when we take out this plastic we don't want it to sink in. So the theory goes. Now what I should have really done is I should have left the lugs in this part of the stock that hold the barrel, and then cut out the plastic and bedded the action, and that would have been great. But my first attempt at making this rifle more accurate was to free float the barrel by cutting those lugs out with a file, so I'm going to have to build that back up with tape, and I'm going to do that with masking tape. And then when I sit the action on top, the barrel and the action, it's going to be supported here, and it's going to be supported on this bit here, and when I screw it down it should make a perfect bed. Okay, so the first thing I've done is I've built up this area here with masking tape, just layer after layer of masking tape, and I've tried to do it as evenly as possible. And you can see there that it's quite thick, and that's basically to recreate where those lugs were touching the barrel. So I have taken the action out of stock, and I have removed the trigger, and on the 700 it's really easy. It's just 2 pins there and there that you punch out. Now I've got all my parts, and I've got them in this little box here, and that's so that I absolutely don't lose anything, okay? Because there's little springs and little bits of the trigger, and we don't want to lose any of that. So I've put it all in this little box, and basically what's going to happen is, once everything's cut out and ready to go, the barrel will be secured in the vise, and then I will bring the stock up and mate it to the barrel and the action, and then screw the nuts on and torque them up. But so that's the action and the barrel with the trigger removed. So we are ready to start cutting out this plastic on the inside of the stock here. Let me just make sure that you can get a good view of it. So I'm going to take this plastic down, not all the way, but I'm going to take it down a substantial part, maybe, well, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm also going to, where the action meets the sides of the stock here, I'm going to very carefully take that out as well, and I'm going to lower it here because the action touches the stock at these points here, and then round the rear action screw. I don't know whether you can see it, I've drawn a little line there. That's where the action comes to. So I don't want to take all that out, but I'm just going to take this area out here, in order that there's enough space for the epoxy, titanium epoxy putty to go into and make a proper bond. You can see in there's a little bit of grease and oil from like gun maintenance, and I'm going to have to remove all of that, and I'll probably use maybe some methylated spirits or something like that. You got to get the stock completely degreased, otherwise the bedding compound won't stick to it.